This is auctionbikebuild.com.
Welcome to auctionbikebuild.com. We're going to keep on working on this motorcycle. We're coming to the point where we're going to bolt on all the little stuff. The last time we were here, we had basically the bike in this position here, in this condition. I ran some wires, some heavy wires going back and forth to the circuit breakers up to the light, where we're going to do a lot of the connecting of the controls. The rest of it was just going to be all under the seat. We mounted the circuit breakers and the flasher under the seat. We have plenty of room for that under there. The reason why we're trying to keep this as neat as possible is because we got the sports tank. Sports tank, we're not really hiding anything. Usually with Softail, you have the fat bob tanks. You can hide a lot of stuff. We're going to do everything back here, and we're trying to trim everything and keep all the circuits working. So we're going to go put the oil tank in today, some of the brakes, the oil lines, and try to get this thing buttoned up a little bit.
Here you see the electronics that Bob mounted under the seat. Notice he used real connectors. Don't twist the wire around the screws and tighten the nut. You have to do everything properly. Make it easy to get to and easy to change if any of this burns out. Now Bob thought it would be pretty boring for our viewers to watch him wire this bike, so he did it without me. And he's right, it would get a little boring watching him measure wires, cut them, and shove them through heat shrink. But see how he did it? See how neat and organized, and everything is color coded, and everything is in heat shrink, so it all stays dry. Now time for Bob to mount the oil tank.
Tasty, ain't it time we mellow out? We had a man named Crazy Art. He overplayed his bass a lot. We had to kick him in the pants. His fingers moved like fighters dance. He couldn't play tasty. Oh no.
Here is the oil filter mount. It's a nice, easy place for them to have put it so you can change the oil filter without getting underneath the motorcycle or inside the oil tank. Now Bob is hooking up the oil lines, and make sure you push them up all the way and that you tighten them very tight, where Harleys don't have that much oil pressure, but it's enough to blow a line clear, and what a mess. So tighten them up nice.
Now he's in school where he belongs. He couldn't play tasty, oh no. Tasty like this man, yeah.
Bob is now hooking up the rear brakes from the reservoir all the way to the rear. Now we don't have the clevis pin that comes from the foot peg or the brake pedal out, so we'll have to mount that later. It's an old bike, nobody has it in stock, you have to order it, but when we get it we'll bleed the brakes. And if you notice, on the opposite end of where the bolt is going, there are tabs that you fold down over this nut to lock it in place. Please do so. Bob is now fitting in the rear brake caliper.
Oh yeah, tasty like this man, yeah. Tasty, ooh tasty, ain't it time we mellow out?
Now, as I told you earlier in one of the very, very first episodes of this show, that when you buy a whole complete motorcycle, you get a lot of parts that you're going to reuse. All these oil lines, all these brake lines were checked by Bob to make sure they were still soft and pliable and not dry rotted or cracked. And if they're good, you use them. They're a lot of money to rebuy them, so check them and make sure they're good to go and put them right back on. And you can see Bob now installing the upper motor mount.
As you can see, we got most of the stuff done. We got the wiring done. We got the primary on. We're going to paint that. We got the controls on. We got the brakes on. Today we're going to hook up the clutch, put the gas tank on, put the front fender on, and if we get to the exhaust pipes, we're going to get the exhaust pipes, and then it'll be a couple of little small button-up stuff. Front brakes, we'll leave the brakes in the back, and we're going to be done with this motorcycle. So today we're going to start with the gas tank.
Make sure you tuck the wire harness up into the channel of the gas tank as to not pinch the wires.
But we got the gas tank mounted up. We used a early style shock mount. It's got a little concave on it, and it goes right around the bushing, and it covers the rubber up, and it really dresses it up really nice. I mean, it was a simple little idea, and it worked out real nice. We use it front and back. Stuff like this here makes a difference between a real nice little finished job and a little rough one.
It is now time to hook up the clutch cable into the transmission side. And make sure that you put your gaskets on, otherwise, what a mess.
Came home early yesterday, a day ahead of when she said.
Bob is now filling up the transmission with transmission fluid, and be sure to use your dipstick to check the fluid level. Very important you get it accurate.
She didn't say a word. She acted like it didn't even phase her. She opened up the...
You could see it was a little low on the dipstick, so Bob topped it off. And as Bob had hoped, there was enough time in the day to hook up the exhaust system, so this is the mount. It actually mounts the front and rear exhaust, so get it on and Loctite it and get it on tight.
The ink was dripping from my face. The lawyer said I got no case. She didn't say a word. She acted like it didn't even phase her. She opened up the drawer and just pulled out a white sheet of paper.
We're now looking for our next project for auctionbikebuild.com. So if you have a motorcycle that you think would be great for our show with a clean title, please email me at auctionbikebuild.com. We have a contact us site, and we'd love to take a look at it. Hopefully you're in the New York area so we don't have to travel too far to get it. But we are looking, and maybe your bike will be featured next.
Got to take me far away from all this mess. Gonna speed away my troubles more.
With the exhaust done, it is now time to mount the front fender. And with this front fender, we have beautiful spacers, so they really dress it up nice. Bob is now installing the petcock, and you can see with the angle of this tank having the petcock back here, you will get every drop of gas out of it.
We'll be ready to auction this off in probably 2 weeks or so, when the last episode goes. So keep an eye out on eBay, and good luck.
Here is your first look at the motorcycle, almost completed. It is an absolute beauty. Thank you for tuning in to auctionbikebuild.com. Tune in every Monday and Friday for new episodes. And in our next episode, we will probably finish this motorcycle and have it ready for auction on eBay. So, see you soon.